Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation homebrew news and much, much more. So, I have a crammed pack episode for you today, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So, first off, there is an update to the PS4 FTP client. Basically, this is just a simple FTP client that you run on your PlayStation 4. Obviously, you will need something such as a PC to run a server, which in my case, my PC runs an FTP server and I have all of my PlayStation related files. So, whenever I'm on my PlayStation 4, I can use this client to copy, move files around from my PC back over to my PlayStation 4. Now, I did cover this in full detail over here a couple of days ago back on December the 15th. So if you want a full setup guide, you can definitely check this out because we kind of began from nothing and finished with it running and connected to our PC, which I actually showed you in that video how to set up your PC as an FTP server to work with it. But I noticed over here yesterday there was an update to it. So if we go over here to releases, we can see that 1.04 had a proper exit of the application with the touchpad button. Also for 1.03, added jailbreak from Sandbox to access all files, configured the touchpad button to exit the application. Apparently that was fixed in 1.04. And then there was a few other things. So if you would like an FTP client on your PlayStation 4, then this is absolutely the best one that I've used so far. And this interface may look very familiar, and that's because this is obviously something that is already on like the Switch, for example. And I believe it's on a few other platforms too. But this is still a brand new homebrew application for the PS4, and I think you'll enjoy it. Next up, we have an update to Apollo tools for the PlayStation 4. Now, this one actually came out last week and I didn't cover it, but Apollo Save Tool version 1.30 has been released. Now, if you're wondering what Apollo Save Tool is, basically it's an application to manage save game files on the PlayStation 4. So it allows you to download, save games. There's a way that you can use or submit those, unlock, patch, and resign save game files directly on your PlayStation 4. Now, there's a ton of features, and I think for the most part, most of you have probably already used this application before. So jumping back over into the releases, we can see with 1.3.0 added new save wizard codes, added save game sorting options, so name and title ID. So anyway, hats off to the developers for putting together another release of Apollo Save Tool. It's what I personally use to, make a save game, put it on my USB, and then maybe copy that save game onto another PlayStation 4 that I have in the house. So anyway, another great tool for save game management for PlayStation 4s that are running an exploitable firmware. Then we have an update for using PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 and running Spotify. But first off, what they need to do is they'll go over to their debug settings and they will install a package right here. Once they install the package, they'll go ahead and run it. Now, at this point, they will need to get their phone, and then with their phone, they'll go ahead and they'll click on Spotify here. They'll browse to the music they want to play, and now they will share it. And as you can see right here, it does have the PS5 listed there. And now the song is playing on their PlayStation 5. Now, the same exact thing, the same exact process happens over here a little bit later on for the PlayStation 4. So anyway, if you are looking to run your PlayStation 4 or 5 and use Spotify, this is definitely the method that you can use in order to get that running. They did provide a link to all of the files that was used in the episode. And so you can obviously come right here and grab them, or you can go down to their page and then just select the pack. Obviously, I'll be linking directly to their video. And then there was another update over here by Logic68 on Backup Save PS5. And what this allows you to do is to simply back up all of your save games on your PlayStation 5 to a USB hard disk drive. Now, I just used one of my disk drives that I just have kind of like lying around, so it doesn't have to be a USB 3. It doesn't have to be one of those USB drives that has, 2 terabytes of storage in order to work. Basically, any really USB drive will work, and this would work also with the front USB ports or the back USB ports. And so one other thing that I did want to call out is that you can do this process manually. This just makes it a little bit easier because it's just simply a payload. And we can look down in here and we can see that for the most part, a lot of this has just been a bunch of bug fixes and a code rewrite. If you come over here to the releases, this is another one where once you come in here, you will need to download the ELF file that matches the PlayStation 5 that you're currently using. Now, if you want to see a tutorial also of how to back this up all the way from scratch, I do have another video on that I just released a couple of days ago on the 19th. And to quickly wrap up this section, I did want to say that these save games are not decrypted. This is just a way that you can back them up. You can't restore them as of the moment, but it's still something that I think is kind of interesting, at least worth checking out if you have some extra time on your hands. Then we got another update over here from Lappy, and this was the Elden Ring Easy Mod version 1.12. So it says it reduces 50% damage, increased 25% attack, 10x rune, 2x player hit radius, 2x crimson, Tears heal, weapon reinforcement, only required 1 material. So anyway, this is another great thing, I think, for folks that want to play Elden Ring but do not want to deal with the difficulty. I know that myself included, I just do not want to deal with a game that is super hard. And for the most part, I play all of my games on normal, but actually over the holiday break, I've been playing a couple of games on easy, mainly because I just want to finish the games. So sound off in the comments. How do you play your games? Do you play them all on normal difficulty, hard difficulty, or easy difficulty? I'd love to hear. And then we have another update from Logic68, and this payload is just simply called Get OS Version, and well, it does exactly that. It gets the operating system version number from FreeBSD, which is the operating system that's underlying on the PlayStation 5. This really won't do very much for the scene in terms of new information because for each version number, we already know what the build was, but it's just another payload that's been released. So it's just good to see these sort of things happening out there in the wild. And then we have another update from John Tornblom with the BDJ-SDK. Now, I talked about this very recently as of December the 17th, but basically he has allowed you to write to a Blu-ray disc the PlayStation 5 ELF loader that we've already been seeing in the WebKit. So now you could send ELF files to your PlayStation 5 instead of just jar files, which was previously implemented. And really, with this update, we can go over to his page here and we can go to the commits. And what we can see is that there's really been a couple of different ELF files that has been loaded in here. So here again was the initial PS5 ELF loader. This was just a commit on using the same interface that the WebKit uses. Here's another example that remounts the system with write permissions. There's been a README that's been added. And so if we go into BDJ-SDK, we go down to samples, and we go to the ELF loader here, Well, here you can see that there is a couple of different payloads. So one of them is get PID, which just gets the process identifier. And then there was a couple of different updates in this payload folder here. Basically, there is a way to mount or to list the mount points with this mountinfo.elf, as well as to remount the system with write permissions just with a remount.elf. Now, if you go over to my video, I show you a little bit earlier in this process on how that you can come in here, and if you wanted to, you could make your own ISO image and make some of these payloads. But most of that work has already been done for you. I've pre-built some of them and put them in my GitHub repo, but I've also found that they are on this mega.nz link in case you want to just download the ISO image and the ELF files, which I'll include those into the description below as well. So give me a like for hunting down some of these files. And so that's pretty much where we are at with John Tornblum's PS5 BD-JB implementation. There is now the ELF loader, which also enables the debug settings. And here's just a couple of ELFs that you can play around with. Now, I also mentioned in that video, some ELFs don't work. So I tried like the FTP ELF in that video and it just crashed the application. But still, there is progress that is being made, which makes me very happy. Next up, there is a PDF, and this is how to set up FP PS4 emulator with Timmy's launcher. And if you download that PDF, you will be able to view it in full screen. And basically, this shows exactly how to get this set up. And if you don't know what FP PS4 is, basically, it is a way, or it is an emulator for the PlayStation 4 for you to run that on your PC. And again, it is for the PC, at least that is how I understand it right now. But this is pretty nice, how to patch updates a game, how to extract PS4 packages and add them in the FP PS4 emulator. And again, there is the rest of these instructions right here, but I thought this was another thing very neat. I know a couple of big YouTubers have been talking about FP PS4, and this PDF makes it a little bit easier to go ahead and get started with that. And then there is a new theme, which is a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 theme. And this theme right here is for the PlayStation 4. And I'll just let this video play here for a second. So as you can see, a lot of the icons have been modified here. The background has been modified. And this is very similar to the God of War Ragnarok theme that I mentioned in another previous Homebrew News episode. So anyway, hats off to PS4 Stuffer for making some of these themes and sharing them with everybody. I'm actually using the God of War Ragnarok theme on my current PlayStation 4. And then last up, the PS Plus Essential for January 2023 has been leaked, and it looks like you're going to be getting Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Fallout 76, and then Axiom Verge 2. I have no clue if I pronounced that right. But anyway, these are the games that you will be getting, and this just dropped, or this just got leaked. So I believe this is pretty fresh information. So anyway, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you all have a happy holiday. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to my channel. I have so much more stuff coming. I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you on the next one. Michael